Hi everyone, and welcome to Huawei Datacom MWC Online. I'm here today again at the CloudWAN exhibition booth, and here with me is the Senior Product Marketing Manager, Dylan Swan. Hi Dylan.
Hi Sam.
So last time you shared with us some information about the CloudWAN solution and the NetEngine 8000 product.
Right.
So what would you like to share with us today?
Okay, today let's see how to achieve committed SLA solution in an IP network.
Okay.
As we know, the 5G and cloud era takes connectivity to the next level by delivering connected experience from cloud to clients.
Right.
And the differentiated services should be provided by the network for different business. So we believe such kind of network should have three features. The first one is here, guaranteed bandwidth.
Yeah.
So look at this picture. If a network is thought of as a road and the services transmitted on the network are like vehicles driving along the road, okay?
Yeah.
So we can see that the road is shared by all vehicles. So similarly, the network is also shared by all services. So there is poor bandwidth assurance.
Right.
Okay, so to address this challenge, Huawei proposes the FlexE feature for the network slicing solution.
Okay, and so what is FlexE and how does it achieve 100% guaranteed bandwidth?
Okay, FlexE is short for Flexible Ethernet. So it can establish a dedicated lane for critical services.
Okay.
It is just like an ambulance driving along a dedicated road, and we can see that it cannot be affected by other vehicles.
Right.
Similarly, in a network, FlexE can set up a dedicated lane for critical services. The bandwidth of critical services are isolated from other services via FlexE time slot scheduling.
Okay.
So that is why we say it is 100% guaranteed bandwidth, and there's no packet loss.
Okay.
And moreover, we can see the FlexE slice granularity of Huawei is 5 times that of the industry.
Yeah.
So the bandwidth cannot be wasted. And here I have a real case of power grid to help you to understand. Okay, this is a power grid scenario, and a teleprotection service is performed between two substations. First, let me introduce what is teleprotection. It detects faults in the power system. If a failure occurs, it sends alarms or directly shuts down the fault point. If it requires the end-to-end latency of a network must less than 10 milliseconds. In the picture, we can see that the teleprotection service is carried on a traditional network along with office services. If an inspection service is added, since it already has a higher priority, then the bandwidth will be preempted. We can see that the bandwidth rate of teleprotection is not stable, and the latency increases much higher than 10 milliseconds. And there is even packet loss. So the traditional network cannot meet the requirement of teleprotection.
Okay, so how can some of these challenges be overcome?
So Huawei proposes Flexible Ethernet to solve it. As I said, the bandwidth of critical services can be isolated from other ones by Flexible Ethernet time slot scheduling. It is just like a dedicated lane set up by Flexible Ethernet for teleprotection service. It is separated from the lanes of other services. Even if an inspection service is added, the bandwidth of teleprotection service will not be preempted. According to the monitoring, the bandwidth and latency can be 100% guaranteed, and there's no packet loss. Okay, the next feature is intelligent connectivity. As we know, in the traditional networks, packets are forwarded in a best effort manner.
Right.
It is just like an envelope delivery.
Yeah.
So no one knows where the mail has been, and the latency is uncontrollable. So to address this challenge, Huawei proposes SDN plus SRv6 solution.
Okay, so what is SRv6 exactly?
So here SRv6 is short for IPv6 segment routing.
Oh, okay.
It is the next generation network bearer protocol, and it is SDN oriented.
Okay.
So with this solution, the NC controller can calculate paths according to the latency requirement, and the forwarding path can be controlled by SRv6 to ensure the latency.
Okay.
So it is just like a baggage handling system. So if a packet is thought of as a baggage, and for example, it is required from Barcelona to Beijing, then the system only needs to do two things. First, the system calculates a shortest path from Barcelona to the destination Beijing. And then it just needs to record all the cities in the past on the head points.
Okay.
So in this way, the customer will know every place the battery is going,
Right.
and the latency is guaranteed, is ensured.
Okay. Yeah.
And Huawei now lists in the SRv6 standards and SRv6 business cases.
Okay.
There are more than 20 SRv6 commercial cases, and Huawei participates in 83% SRv6 standards.
Okay. Wow.
Right. And also here I have a real case of government to help you understand.
Yeah.
So this is an emergency private line scenario. We can see that the forest is on fire. So an emergency private line is needed to set up in a short time. However, a private line is established manually in traditional networks, and the provisioning usually takes several days. Even if the private line is set up, since the bandwidth is not guaranteed and might be preempted by other services, we can see that the bandwidth and latency are not stable. And there is even packet loss. So the monitoring in the remote command center is not real time. That is why we say traditional network cannot meet the requirement of this scenario.
Okay, and what about these challenges? How do they get overcome?
Okay, to face this challenge, Huawei proposes SDN plus SRv6 solution, as I said. So in this picture, we can see first, network cloud engine should be deployed in the network. Then the NCE controller can collect the topology of whole network and the latency of each link. Then the controller can calculate a path between the emergency command center and the site near to the forest based on the latency requirement. Because SRv6 supports seamless cross-domain deployment, so it only takes within minutes for the provisioning. According to the monitoring, the bandwidth and latency are stable, and the monitoring is real-time in the remote command center. So it can meet the requirement of the emergency requirement. Okay, the last feature is high availability. So as we know, traditional measurement solution just collects statistics by sending test packets. And if so, the photo-locating can only be performed when alarm or complaint is received.
Right.
So if the network failure is thought of as a traffic accident, so you have sent traffic police to investigate. So it is skill-based manual photo-locating, and it will last several hours or several days.
Yeah.
So with the network scale increases, it might take longer or become difficult, right? So to address this challenge, Huawei proposes iFIT solution.
So what exactly is iFIT?
So iFIT is the next generation measurement solution raised by Huawei. It provides high precision and in-band service flow measurement.
Right.
It measures real services and carries measurement information into packets. And the statistics about packets are reported from routers to the cloud engine, to the network cloud engine through telemetry. So it is in real time.
Okay.
In this way, the photo locating can be performed in minute level. And if FR protection is deployed in the network, and then the switchover time of service might be performed in millisecond level.
Okay.
So here I still have a real case of ISP to help you understand. So this is a football game live scenario. We can see that a private line should be set up between the stadium and the live TV center. Then but we can see that the live TV experience is not good due to the packet loss and high latency. So you have to send the maintenance engineer for on-site photo locating. And because it is a manual locating procedure, then it usually takes more than 8 hours. So it cannot meet the requirement of live TV.
Okay, so how can we help overcome this one?
So as I said, we can use iFIT to solve it. First, you should deploy network cloud engine in your network, and then we can see that the services are visualized on it. With iFIT, the NC controller can monitor the performance of services in real time. So even if a failure occurs, it can be located by NC controller within minutes. And if there is FR protection deployed, the service can switch to the backup path within milliseconds. So we can see that the performance indicators are stable, and the program plays smoothly. Okay, Sam, after listening, have you understood the industry's first committed SLA solution?
Yeah, I think I've got it. You've explained very clearly, so tell me if I'm wrong. So
Okay.
the networks must have guaranteed bandwidth, intelligent connectivity, and high availability. And how do they achieve that? Well, they have to have these three technologies, FlexE, which you mentioned, SDN plus SRv6, and also iFIT.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for sharing with us today, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And if you'd like to know more information, please visit our official website, or you can visit a local Huawei sales office. Thank you.
Thank you.